Okay, let's jump right in. We're tackling, well, maybe the biggest question there is. Does the God you think about every day line up with who he actually is?
That's the core of it. Because, for a lot of us, maybe unconsciously, the answer is probably not.
Right. It's like we shrink him down. We make the Almighty fit into our comfort zone or just what we need for the week ahead.
It's such an easy thing to do, isn't it? We're finite. We're trying to grasp something infinite. So if we only define God by, say, our immediate problems.
We miss the sheer scale, the
Yeah,
vastness.
exactly. So the goal for our conversation today is really to try and recover that enormous scope, his mind that we can't comprehend, his absolute power, and maybe most importantly, his perfect, limitless love.
And looking at this, something really powerful emerges. It's like a chain reaction. When you start to grasp just how vast God is,
Mm-hmm.
awe kicks in, real awe.
Mm.
And that becomes the fuel you need for trust.
Yeah, deep anchored trust.
And then that trust fuels actual obedience, not just knowing what to do, but having the motivation, the reason to actually do it.
And hopefully by the time we finish talking this through, you'll really feel that God is fundamentally bigger than you thought possible.
But somehow at the very same time.
Paradoxically, yeah. He's profoundly nearer than you ever imagined.
Okay, so let's start with that first part, the mind, an infinite mind. It's almost frustrating for us to even think about with our finite minds, right?
It absolutely is. There's that classic idea, you see it in a lot of foundational thought, comparing us to, say, an ant trying to understand the internet.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
It captures that Isaiah passage perfectly.
Yeah.
God's thoughts aren't just higher than our thoughts, like on a ladder. They're as high as the heavens are above the earth.
It's not just a difference in degree, it's a
Right,
difference in kind.
A difference in dimension, exactly. We're stuck in time experiencing things sequentially. God isn't. He sees all of it, past, present, future, all at once.
We could maybe use a modern concept to sketch the edges of this idea. Think about the most powerful AI we have right now. It can process maybe read and cross-reference a huge book, 400 pages in seconds, and do that for thousands of users at the same time without slowing down. And that's something we built.
Right. A machine. Now take that idea and expand it infinitely. God isn't just processing data. He's actively sustaining reality itself.
Wow.
He's aware of every single thought, every cell dividing, every galaxy spinning, every heartbeat, everywhere, all the time, instantly, without ever getting overloaded or, needing to pause or getting distracted.
Tozer talked about that, didn't he? Knowing all matter, all minds, all mysteries. Effortlessly.
Effortlessly, he's the constant underlying operating system of everything.
What's incredible, though, is that this immense awareness doesn't lead to chaos. We live in a world with structure, with
A
laws.
designed world.
Yes.
The fundamental rules, physics, time, biology, they aren't random. They're constantly upheld by the mind of God.
Colossians puts it so clearly. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. We're literally living inside his managed design.
And that leads to the big personal question, doesn't it? How can this cosmic level intellect, this master designer, possibly focus on me?
Yeah, if he's handling gravity across the universe, why does he care about my Tuesday afternoon?
And that is the absolute core of it. His infinite awareness isn't some detached cosmic surveillance system. It's infinite awareness used for intimate personal care.
We judge people based on what we see them do, their actions.
Right. But God's knowledge goes way deeper. 1 Samuel tells us he looks at the heart. He sees the hidden motives, the real intentions behind every single thing we do.
The level of detail is just staggering.
It really is. Think about this. The same mind that set the universe's physical constants with unbelievable precision like gravity, accurate to 1 part in 10 to the power of 60.
Which is a number I can't even really picture.
Exactly. That same mind also knit together the 3 billion letter code of your personal DNA without a single typo.
Wow.
And that same level of meticulous attention is applied to his relationship with you.
He knows the cosmic stuff, but also the tiny personal things we barely notice ourselves. Jesus said, "Not one sparrow falls without his Father knowing."
And maybe the most intimate detail, drawing on that thought from Spurgeon, is that the very hairs of your head are numbered. Not just lots, but actually counted, tracked, individually.
That implies such care.
Incredible care. Think about it. The one holding galaxies in place is simultaneously noticing every tear you cry. Psalm 56 says, he keeps them in his book. He's never too busy with the big picture to miss your personal pain.
that connection, infinite scale and infinite detail, that's where trust starts to feel possible, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this infinite mind operates with absolute unstoppable power.
Right. The creator didn't need, blueprints and materials in the way we do. He just spoke. Genesis says, let there be light. And there was light.
That statement, Jeremiah 32.1, then, nothing is too hard for you. That's the definition of omnipotence. He just wills it, and it happens.
And it's crucial to get that this isn't just about creation like a one-time event. It's ongoing, right?
It's constant. Colossians 1 again. He sustains all things. If he withdrew his power for even a split second, reality would just unravel. Everything depends on his active, continuous power.
We rely on a stability we can't create ourselves.
Completely. His power is what keeps everything, including the kingdom we belong to, from falling apart.
Okay, but power, especially absolute power, can sound scary. How do we square that kind of omnipotence with God being good and loving?
That's such an important distinction. God's power isn't like some wild, chaotic source. It's always perfectly aligned with his character, his wisdom, his love, his justice.
So omnipotence isn't just the ability to do anything.
It's the power to do everything that is intrinsically possible and consistent with his perfect nature. He rules over everything, physics, weather, nations, but always for a righteous purpose.
Yeah.
One command from him achieves more than centuries of human effort.
And yet this God of immense power, the one who can shake the earth, also operates in stillness, in quietness.
That's the tension, isn't it? The God of the storm is also the God of the whisper.
We tend to look for the big signs, the dramatic stuff.
We do. Like Elijah, we expect the wind, the earthquake, the fire, the loud, spectacular proofs. But that story in 1 Kings shows us something profound.
That God wasn't in the dramatic display.
No. He came in the sound of a low whisper, a gentle stillness.
And a whisper. Well, you have to be close to hear a whisper.
Exactly. You can shout across a field, but a whisper requires intimacy, proximity. When God chooses to whisper, he's inviting you to draw near, to lean in and hear his heart, not just feel his power.
So if you're only listening for the thunder,
you might miss the most important thing he's saying.
And the most profound way he's near right now is the Holy Spirit living within believers.
Yes, Jesus actually said it was better for us that he leave so the Helper, the Comforter, could come.
Better, that's a strong word.
It is. Because the Spirit is God's own mind and presence with you, constantly, 24/7. It's guidance and companionship that no human advisor or, app could ever provide.
And the practical reality of that presence is amazing, especially when we're at our lowest points.
Romans 8 talks about this. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. He intercedes for us, prays for us, with groanings too deep for words.
So even when you're so broken or confused, you can't even form a prayer.
He hears your heart. The Spirit translates the groaning. You aren't trying to find God's presence. You are literally walking around in it.
Which leads us right into the nature of his love, because that presence is driven by love, isn't it?
Limitless love. That's the foundation. God's love isn't like a battery that runs down or a resource. He has to budget.
It doesn't get rationed out.
No, because 1 John tells us God is love. It's his very nature. It flows infinitely. He loves billions of people right now without his patience, wearing thin, without playing favorites, loving each person completely.
That's so hard for us to grasp because our love isn't like that. Our love has limits, conditions.
It runs out of patience. It gets offended. God's love doesn't have those edges. And because his nature, as Malachi says, doesn't change.
His love doesn't change either.
Exactly. His love for you tomorrow is just as strong, just as full as it is right this second. It can't diminish.
So when feelings of shame or guilt tell you, God's probably withdrawn his love until I get my act together.
That's a lie. Romans 5.8 cuts right through it. God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. He acted first. He loved you at your absolute worst. His love isn't something you earn.
And the ultimate proof, the most staggering demonstration of that love, has to be the incarnation.
Oh, absolutely. God didn't just send instructions or messengers. The author of life literally wrote himself into the human story.
John 1:114, the Word became flesh.
The king, Philippians tells us, took off his crown, set aside his divine privileges, and took the nature of a servant, became human.
Why was that so necessary?
So he could truly understand us, empathize. Yeah. Hebrews 4.15 is key here. Jesus sympathizes with our weaknesses because he was tempted in every way just as we are, yet he was without sin.
So he gets it. Tiredness, betrayal, pain.
He understands it from the inside out, from lived experience, not just from some distant, omniscient perspective. He knows what it feels like. He bridged that infinite gap by becoming one of us.
Which means for those who follow him, we're living in a kind of dual reality now.
That's a great way to put it, like holding two passports. Your primary citizenship, Philippians 3 says, is in heaven. That's your permanent home. But right now,
You're a temporary resident here on Earth, an eternal heir with a temporary mailing address.
exactly. And that creates this tension we live in, the already and the not yet. Christ already reigns. His kingdom is here.
But it's not fully here yet. Sin, suffering, brokenness are still obviously present.
Right. And in that tension, we're called to be like an embassy, a visible outpost of heaven's culture, right here on earth, seeking first his kingdom, as Matthew 6 puts it.
And this whole journey living between these two kingdoms, it's heading somewhere specific.
It culminates in the final invitation, the call home. God's plan, from the very beginning and right to the end, has always been to dwell with his people. Revelation 21 paints that beautiful picture,
Home meaning no more separation.
the permanent end of separation, and that incredible promise. No more death, no more mourning, no more crying, no more pain. All the former things have passed away.
And that place, that seat at the eternal table, it's not something we earn our way into.
Not at all. It's purely a gift. Ephesians 2 is so clear. Saved by grace, through faith, not by works. It's entirely his doing.
So we've covered this huge landscape, the sheer vastness like an ocean,
And the incredible nearness, like tiny drops of water,
the one who orchestrates time and holds galaxies together,
who hears billions of prayers simultaneously.
and yet chose to become human, to walk among us, to understand our specific pain.
The paradox is just immense, isn't it? And the only right response is, well, humility and awe.
The God the highest heavens cannot contain, as Solomon prayed.
Chooses to live, Isaiah says, with the lowly in spirit. And he meticulously counts the hairs on your head.
If you really lived each day remembering that final invitation home is secure, that the king is waiting, how would that change things?
It has to change everything. How you use your time, what you worry about, how you love the people around you right now.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Considering God's breathtaking immensity alongside his shocking nearness.
What one thing in your life, maybe your prayer life, how you handle hardship, your priorities, what one thing needs to shift today in light of who he truly is?